What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Movie Emporium's Amazon Original Prime review of The Electric Life of Louis Wain. This film is directed by Sharpe. Now, before we begin, if you like this channel, awesome, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell, top to find what's coming next. If you like these videos, awesome, hit that like button, as well as comment below any video that you watch, including this one. So The Electric Life of Louis Wain is a story of the very famous painter Louis Wain himself, who's played by Benedict Cumberbatch in this movie. And Louis Wain was an individual who, after so many issues in his life, became very prominent and rose to stardom thanks to his painting of cats, which are that feline creature that we have as pets. Now, why people gravitated toward these types of paintings, I have no idea. The art world's very weird. But in essence, this movie, which is narrated by Olivia Colman, is a very traditional beat by beat story of how not only of him as a struggling artist living with his sisters played by Andrea Riseborough, to his eventual marriage of the governess who was working for him played by Claire Foy, to of course her death, to his superstardom, and then his eventual death of schizophrenia. So going into a movie like this and learning about an individual that of course I've never heard of before, I know a lot of people probably have, but I didn't know who Louis Wain was. I didn't know he was an artist. I didn't know he was an individual who became very famous for cats. It's just because it's not where my focus is. I don't really deal with the art world and stuff like that. So even though I didn't know much about it, it's just never been my cup of tea, I always find these movies fascinating because maybe they're a little fictional, but because they're done in such a traditional sense, you actually are expanded upon your view of the world, learning about people who did creative stuff, and just kind of, shape the world in a very unique way. So it's almost like they said, like an educational experience in a lot of aspects. But also going into a movie like this, you have to realize that this movie is not going to be for everyone because it's very traditional, it's very beat by beat, it has a very no frills kind of storytelling. So this isn't the Avengers or Doctor Strange. This is a biography about an individual that goes from his early ages to his eventual death, and it doesn't kind of go into any expanded routes or anything like that. So I find those movies interesting. I find those movies fascinating, but the real question is this movie any good? And so I will say this from the forefront to get into some of the good stuff. The acting, which includes Benedict Cumberbatch and Andrea Riseborough and Claire Foy, is narrated by Olivia Colman. It has Toby Jones in it. It has Nick Cave and Taika Waititi. Everybody's fantastic. I mean, there's no issues or problems I have with the cast in general, and it's just a movie that is full of great performances. Whether they're Oscar worthy or not remains to be seen, but in the traditional sense of this movie could be on stage play, they do a really nice job of presenting that stage play to film type of scenario. So you get some really cool moments with all these characters, and they do a really nice job of presenting the story of this eccentric artist in a lot of ways who went through a lot of unfortunate issues. But on top of that, Sharpe's direction and the cinematography are absolutely fantastic to look at. They're very gorgeous. They almost could be like paintings on a wall, so you could take each individual shot, stick it up in your wall, and people be like, oh man, that's gorgeous. It's a movie that is filled with very cool set pieces and ideas and concepts, and it throws it out there in a very gorgeous way. So it's a very, like I said, even though it's traditional, it gives us a lot of pop for the picture and the camera work and so on and so forth like that. And then the music's fantastic. It's very strange and weird and earthly and stuff like that, and it has a lot of really interesting moments. Kind of fits the tone of this road that Louis Wain goes down when he starts to kind of lose his sanity and stuff like that. And it just, everything about what this world inhabits and how it's pictured and shot and filmed and so on and so forth is very gorgeous in its own right. Could be Oscar worthy, cinematography, but when it comes to the actual storytelling, and when it comes to kind of how the film kind of moves, because it's so traditional and beat by beat, it actually is a very slow burn, hour and 50-minute movie. So a lot of people will be very bored by that. They'll be very put off by that. They'll be kind of, why is this not moving? Why is it stuck in this particular spot? What's going on here? Blah, 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 blah. And I was starting to feel the time as the movie moved along, because it doesn't kind of want to move. It just kind of wants to stick in one place and then just kind of maybe move a little bit further and kind of give us the world as it's shown. And that's not necessarily a problem, but it does happen to make me want to look at my phone a few times during the movie. And it's just one of those traditional sense type movies where because there's no frills, there's nothing really to give it some pop or action. It's just a guy who painted cats, who had a couple cats, who had a wife that died, and you know, it's one of those types of movies. It really is. It doesn't make it bad, but it is a very slow burn movie that causes, you know, to want to make you look at your phone, I guess you could say. So, and to kind of close this review out, like I said, it's just a movie that has a very traditional sense to it, tells a very interesting story, has a character that, you know, did something very profound for a lot of people, and I think the performances are great. So at least it has that going for it. Yes, it's a little slow, but I think it's a very interesting movie to watch. So, but yeah, I think that'll do it. I think that'll be my take on The Electric Life of Louis Wain. Thank you so much for watching. In the comments below, if you watch this movie, tell me what you thought of it. Have you ever heard of Louis Wain? Do you know anything about what he did? All that good stuff. Otherwise, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button and join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.